Hello, welcome to another episode of Investing with Quito. So, I just got done from an event and really wanted to kind of share with you guys the takeaway that I got from the event. And the thing is, it's always like for me, it's always important that every year I'm always learning, right? I might probably go to like two, three events per year, just to learn, just to network, and just to always be expanding. Because I think in life, if you're not like growing, like you're dying, right? You always want to be learning. You always been growing because there's always something new that you can learn. Just little takeaways, or maybe even like reminders of things that you knew, just kind of reinforce it. So one of the things I wanted to share with you guys was, I mean, I tell you, it was a 2-day event in Las Vegas, and shout out to Michael Zuber with One Rental at a Time. He's the person that put this on, and I've actually I've been following him since when he started out with like 3,000 subscribers. So I don't know, maybe like 3 years ago, and just kind of watched him grow. And he's one of the reasons why that it inspired me to start doing these videos, right? And just kind of watching him grow. And when he hit his goal was to hit 50,000 subscribers. And once he hit that 50,000 subscriber, he wanted to throw a celebration. And that's what he did. He threw a celebration, brought in some guest speakers, because what he does in his channel, if you follow him, he'll have like millionaires that come on each and every week, and they generous with their time. They share information, give some insight. So he lined up like all these speakers, and they've all got something awesome to say, and also to not only that, but the networking that happens in his community that he's created. So such an awesome community. I'm also a part of that community as well. And so I'm getting back to a couple key takeaways. One of the and there's so many speakers. I'm just going to name like a few that I mean, they all did a great job. But one of the things that resonated with me was one of the first speaker was Jason Pritchard and his wife Jen. I mean, they're a couple, and it's like me. I work with my wife, and we have different roles, and obviously, it's always a reminder, like the key in communication, right? When you're working with your spouse, or even with your partner that you have, is just really communicating and figure out what roles that you guys play in. Like for me, my wife, she does the marketing piece of it for me, and she fills the calls. So when a marketing piece is hit, somebody gives her, she fills out the calls, and then she basically starts building up that relation, then hands it over to me. And then my goal is, once I get the calls, you know, I establish that rapport, figure out what the seller needs and how we can help, and eventually close the deal. But anyways, we have separate different roles, and I know that she doesn't want to do what I do, right? And I definitely don't want to do what she does. So it's really being able to work together and make things work. And the thing is, because see, we're together like 24/7, it's important to shut things off, and that's one of the uh, things that Jason Pritchard talks about when he was giving his speech. Is like, just being able to, like it's easy to be on all the time. I know for me, like I'm on all the time when it comes to real estate, right? And sometimes I'm with my wife, like I need to just be with my wife as a husband, as a friend, not as an investor and as a business person. So just really just being able to recognize that, hey, look, this is the time we shut off and we don't talk business. And so one of the things that my wife and I, we've implemented this, been doing this for several years, is to Fridays is basically our coffee uh, our coffee date. So Friday mornings, um, I we go out and we have coffee at different local coffee shops throughout, and we'll go and have coffee, we'll walk, and we'll talk, right? Um, Try not to talk about business related. Sometimes it creeps in, but we have to remind ourselves, okay, no business talk. So we really make a point to do that, because when you're working with your spouse, I mean, it's you know especially with us, because we're 24/7. This is all we do. I mean, she doesn't have a another career field that she does. So this is what she does. We're to see each other 24/7. So it's really being able to make sure that we have that time that we spend together. We put on our calendar like this is our coffee. This is what we do. So that's really important, especially when you're working with your spouse, or and just really communicating and figuring out what um, what they're good at and what they like to do. There's sometimes things I want to throw on her plate. I mean, she hates the accounting piece of it. I know I can't give that to her, right? So we have someone that does the bookkeeping for us, right? So it's finding out what what you enjoy, what you like, and then being able to delegate those things off. So that was a great takeaway on just being able to work with your spouse and to be able to set the time. And the key thing is just the communication. That is just so important. So that really hit home with me. Another thing I want to touch bases with you. I'm not sure if you guys heard Sean Cannell. If you haven't, check him out. He is just phenomenal when it comes to like the setting up YouTube and understanding that and and I've just started following him because I didn't know about him until I until until Michael Zuber did an interview with him. I was like, oh, let me check him out. And it's interesting because he was actually from the Pacific Northwest, which is where I was from, like in the Seattle area. And he talks about the importance of the YouTube, not just only for the fact that you can monetize and you can build an audience, but what something that we overlook is that when you do create, because we're like we consume a lot of content, right? And I do a lot of consumption as well, just consuming content. That's how I learn. That's how I grow as well. But it was also I think that's something that didn't occur to me. It's like when you're doing this, when you're creating content, you're actually kind of recording, have a living record of your thoughts and the things that you're going through. So in the future, like if you imagine if you had literally hundreds of thousands of hours of recordings, that's the stuff that your kids can look at, your grandkids can look at, right? Just so they can kind of see your thoughts and you're passing wisdom onto them. So and that really inspires, like, oh man, that's a way to look at it. It's like, obviously when I started this YouTube channel, I want to inspire and be able to help new investors, right? But at the same time, you know, it's actually like a document of what I'm learning, and hopefully my kids, when they see this in the future, they can appreciate, like, oh wow, and this is what I can learn from my dad. Maybe when I'm long past, so when they see this, when I'm gone, hopefully they can get like they can see that legacy that I'm passing behind. So that was something that, like, oh wow, that's great. So it even inspired me, like, okay, what I'm just makes me want to double down and be more consistent when I do my recording my videos. So for now, I decided I'm going to use Monday as um, my my YouTube, Monday for media, right? I figure Monday for my social media and stuff like that. So I'm carving out time on Monday morning. It's about I think it's about 10 o'clock my time, somewhere around here. So I'm going to be consistent. I work on being consistent at that, so you can hold me accountable. But for now, just trying to create a schedule where I can be consistent, because I started out on Thursdays. Now it's like, okay, I found out that Thursdays are kind of pretty busy for me. So I thought, okay, well, let's do Monday. And that also reminds me, M stands for media, for Monday media, right? Okay, so it is. I digress. But so that kind of hit home. It's like, okay, yeah, that's great. And also too, it's like, even as I'm doing this, down the road, hopefully I'm building a community. People can watch what I'm doing, comment. and maybe we can start to interact, right? And I don't have any aspirations to have 1 million subscribers by any means, but right now I think I'm at like 100 some subscribers. I don't even know, but I'm just gonna just post and just sharing information. And one thing too that was kind of reinforcement. I ran into somebody, and they actually um, watch my YouTube channel, right? And they said, "Hey, thank you so much. I was watching a video where you talked about taking action, right?" And I'm thinking, and that inspired him to take actions. Like going, "Oh wow, that's great." So I guess you make an impact, and you don't even know the kind of impact that you make for people that's consuming. So that's what I want to do. Just provide value, and hopefully it can impact your life, and it can change. And for me, obviously, real estate is my passion. This is what I love. This is what I enjoy doing, and just sharing information along my journey, the things that I'm up to. So that's really one of the main reasons why I created this channel. And then, like I said, to inspire, motivate other people to say, you know what, I too can do this, right? So that was a great takeaway with Sean Cannell. He has a YouTube channel called Think Media. I think he has over 1 million. I know he has over 1 million plus subscribers, and he just started out, kind of before YouTube became like really popular, because he was just recording video for his church, and then just started, just starting recording and learn how um, to do edit videos. And now he's got this company that has over 30 employees, and they're making millions of dollars a year on YouTube. So and so that's great. That's very inspiring. And he was something like everybody should have a YouTube channel, right? um, so you can record your progress, share information, and also building community. So that's why I'm here. So if you're watching this, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate this. Another two, which and one of the guest speaker there, he wrote the book called like the Mighty Investor. And basically, this really resonated with me because you know as entrepreneurs, we're always pushing for more, more, and more, right? Always wanting to do more. And he talks about you know like figuring out what's enough, right? And so he tells this story. And um, I I think I probably butchered this story, but let me attempt to share with you the story that he told. So he said there was this business guy. He was in Mexico, and he saw this fisherman, right? And this fisherman, he goes and gets the fish pretty quick, right? And then he takes the fish, and then he sells it at the market, right? And then he sees this guy again. Like, man, this guy, he catches, because this business guy that's been trying to catch fish but having a hard time. He's like, how do you do it? Like, you make it so easy. And he's thinking, So he asks his guy, how long does it take you to catch fish? Oh, it doesn't take me long. Goes, then what do you do with the rest of your day? So the fisherman says, well, you know what, I after I saw the fish, I go and you know I go hang out with my friends, have coffee with my friends. Then I go have a siesta, with my wife in the afternoon. And then in the evening I play my guitar, and that's it. Oh, okay. And so he was thinking, um, what you could do is because see, this business guy sees an opportunity, right? He goes, I mean, you can actually hire people to have a to go and get the fish and sell at the market, and then you can have more money, right? And then what you do when you get the fish, you could can the fish, and then you could sell it, right? And then you have more money, and then the guy says, okay, well then I, then after that, then what's next? Goes, wow, you know what? Then you could once you sell the fish, then you could ship it internationally, you know, and then he goes, and then you'll have more money. And then what? And then he goes, well, you can't, then you could move to the US and you could distribute over there. And and then he goes, and then you'll make more money. Like, okay, and then what? Because well, and then maybe you could open up another plant and start building, and then and then you'll make a lot more money. Then you could go public, and then he goes, and then what? So this guy keeps saying how he can keep growing and how keep expanding, and then he goes, well, after I get all that, then what? Because oh well, then you could move us. Then after all that, you make all this money, right? And then you could move into a small town in Mexico. You can go fishing. You could hang out with your friends, and you can strum guitar at night. So I was like, okay. And the thing is, the basically to summarize the story is that this fisherman had already figured out, right? Like he didn't need to go through all of that stuff just to get to where he wanted to be because he had enough, right? And then sometimes, and I honestly I've been guilty of this myself, right? Like always wanting more, 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 and just keep more. But then you get to the point like what is enough, right? And honestly, depending on what your lifestyle is, I mean, they did a survey, um, and I think I don't know where the survey is, but anyways, they said like, what, like in terms of how much you make, in terms of how much happiness you would need, and they said something like, you know, the average if you make $75,000 a year, so that's enough, right? That's enough. And that's the thing that we have to realize for ourselves, like what is enough for us. I know when I first started out, you kind of you could kind of figure out what your financial freedom number is, right? It's like, hey, how much it costs to, for your mortgage, for your car payment, for your health insurance, and this and that, and then figure that out, and then, work towards a goal to where you could build something that gives you enough to cover your basic expenses, right? Once you get to that point, then you figure, okay, well, if you want more, how much more would you need? But then you get to the point where, I mean, honestly, when I started out, the goal for my wife and I, we just wanted to make $10,000 a month. That was our goal, because that would cover our car payment, pay for a mortgage, insurance, maybe 2 vacations a year. That was a goal. Like, hey, that would be enough for us, and that's what that was our journey. We gave ourselves a timeline of how long it was going to take us to get there, and we just focused and just kept chugging away. Um, Fortunately, we were blessed that it didn't take us. We had like a 3-year time frame. It didn't take us that long. It actually took us like 6 months to hit that number, right? But um, I say that to say this is like you figure out what that number is for you, and then you start building towards it, right? Whether it takes you, 3 years or 5 years, like it doesn't matter, right? You get to the point where that's where you have your enough numbers, so you're not stressed out about having to make ends meet, right? And that's the reason why I love real estate, because it gives you the ability to do that. So really, like find out what that enough number is for you, and just work towards that number. Like, now you don't, because sometimes, I mean, in this where we're so, especially with Instagram, we see people with fancy cars, fancy homes, and it's nothing wrong with that thing, but the thing is, it makes us feel like we don't have enough. Like we need a, like they say, like trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? Like you don't need all that fancy car, the fancy homes. I mean, like us, we live in a modest home. I drive a modest car, right? And so it's just like what's enough. Like you don't have to work so much that you're all stressed out. You build it to where it's enough for you. So that was a great reminder, and it helps me reflect back on, okay, what's enough for me. Like honestly, I mean, I do have enough, but at the same time, because I am ambitious, I like to push myself. It's not that I want more, but I just want to challenge myself. So that's my thing, right? It's not so much about making the money, right? It's about how can I grow and how can I challenge, and that's me, right? And for you, that could be something different, right? I'm not one to just, okay, now that I've hit my number, I'm just gonna um, sail off into the sunset. Like I want to push myself, I want to grow, and so and 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 being that, I mean, it does put some pressure on me, right? To grow and to be more, but that's me personally. um but yeah, so just the idea of just figuring out what's enough for you, and just having that, because everything else is just icing on the cake, right? Just icing on the cake. So work on getting to that number, and then from there you just keep, just want to continue to learn and grow, and just take it from there. So, especially right now, getting that enough number is very, very obtainable. And especially if you're using real estate, it can get you there sooner than you think. Um, so another thing I wanted to touch on is like, when I go to these events, I it just amazes me, like the kind of people that I meet. I mean, they're just like, you wouldn't even know it. Like you're just sitting down to, like, multimillionaires, and they're just like just down to earth, just sharing information with you, just being giving, and just sharing. And that's what I love about those kind of events. Like you get to network, you get to, rub shoulders. Oops, I think someone's trying to call me. Sorry about that. My phone was. I thought I had it off in a mode here. Since we do need to go live. Um, that had an airplane mode. Anyways, my phone was going off. Um, so that kind of distracted me. Okay, so I was like, okay, about it up, and I talked about the people that I met, and how they're just, giving, just sharing them information, sharing that wisdom. That's the thing. Like, we get to stand on shoulders of giants, right? People that are doing the things that we want to do, and that's what I love about going to these type of events. Is It's just that, and shout out to the one rental at a time community, where everybody is just, that's the kind of people he attracts, right? And um and that's what I love about that. It's just networking. I made, some new friends, and I'll even, bring them onto the show too soon. So anyways, that's what I want to share with you. Just just a couple key takes away that I've gotten from the event, and I'll share more throughout time. But that's it. Thank you for joining me, and keep me accountable to posting, live, to going live on Mondays. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye.